on Twitter. But we're going to go into the game right now, as looks like most of the members from Cloud9 are heading towards that B bomb site.
Yeah, and some pressure early from Fur and Shroud taking long-range battles. Even Stewie going and just probing over towards long, seeing what he can find. So a little bit of information gained, and it looks like with this kind of a setup, I mean, there's a lot of utility. Skedoodle nothing, full utility, but I mean, Stewie just gets ended. That's a big piece of the puzzle for Cloud9 just taken out.
Yeah, you can have a lot of aggressive aim drills here on the pistol round, and Fur was happy to take that. And putting Stewie to bed, Cold Zero back a plat. The execute comes in, and Cloud9 are going to be coming into 3 CTs here.
Yeah, this is a heavy defense. They have a great read, and there's Fur with 2 big kills. Even Taco from window. I mean, that early rotate, there's just so many targets for Cloud9, and they can't even really make progress. Shroud is doing his best. 2 kills. They've got Taco in the back of the site, but it's FNX on the flank that might really end this. Even though they fought so hard to get into the site, it's now down to a 1-on-2 Shroud. He's got Fallen at 1 HP, and FNX pushes forward. If he were to fall there, that would have been very dangerous, but SK is going to take the pistol round either way.
That got really dicey towards the end. Looked like SK were in full control. Fur getting nice 2 kills at that B bomb site, but easy done in the end.
Yeah, that is, I mean, it all comes down to that 1 kill in mid. If Stewie was able to survive and at least distract or have some kind of a presence in mid, that cheat over, that third player cheating to the B bomb site wouldn't have been able to come to fruition. But either way, now they've just got to build on it. We've seen a lot of second rounds lost today, and Cloud9 is going to be bringing 3 Deagles to the party. All 5 members of Cloud9 boxed up out towards long, and I mean, there's no smoke, so these Deagles have to do work.
Yeah, they haven't gone the force buy option. They're just grabbing pistols, no head armor. A couple of flashes on Jordan, which they can use later in the round once they get a bit of territory, but they're hoping for Stewie, Automatic, and Shroud to be able to find the heads of SK players. They have managed to get cat control right now, and they have to deal with Fallen on that A ramp. 5 umps, though, for SK.
Yeah, I believe there was a team that did this yesterday as well. I almost want to say it was Immortals, but I could be mistaken on that one. It's interesting with these Deagles, sometimes the use of them is almost like a scout where you can get 1 tag and clean them up with a secondary Deagle. But Cloud9's going the other way. They sent all 3 Deagles to different locations to just try and get those long-range picks. Hasn't worked out, and Fur's going to be close up. This is where he can make some money, but he's given away his position. He's got to adjust accordingly. He can only get 1.
He's done well to get 1, and the mid control will be given to Cloud9, but with no armor, not a lot of utility to smoke off or take areas, it's going to be hard for them to really cover any ground here. They are going for the mid to B.
It's certainly risky, and they have to get into this site quickly because Fallen's already on the rotate, and that's the bomb. That pretty much seals the round no matter what happens. Shroud can do some economic damage. It's not going to be too bad with so many ump spot, but anything you get. Oh, there's another one. 3 kills for Shroud. He's come to play early on. Oh, and there was a chance for a 4th. And even the last one, he had a good couple of shots on, but can't complete the kills. So SK with 2. But they lose 3 players, and they do, again, put themselves in a sticky situation.
They got a lot done with not a lot, really. Good job by Shroud grabbing those kills. Good if he has a nice start, you know. Shroud, he's one of those players who we've been saying has been quiet in the more recent times, but this is a map where his pug prowess can come to play.
Right, all that streaming put into good work.
Yeah, when you pug a lot, this is a map that you're finding yourself on. As Fur's going to go straight up middle here, straight up the guts, really aggressive with the MP9. Almost Fur patented as you grab one and go down again. And 4v4 situation, just a few upgraded pistols, no armor again on the Cloud9 guys. Well,
Shroud's got 5 kills so far in this game, and just because of that, he invests in a Deagle again. So, I mean, that's a smart decision. That might have been dropped over to him actually by Stewie, who's pretty low. But if Shroud's able to get a couple more kills, just more economic damage. But Cold in this position is going to be so effective. When does he choose to pounce? He's given up his position as well, so great traits for Cloud9. These are kills, if you're SK, you really don't want to be giving up just for 1-to-1.
Yeah, they're really taking it to Cloud9. They want to fight. Looks like they really want to duel. They're not happy to sit there and wait. They want to take the fight to them, and so far not working out in their favor in these anti-eco rounds.
SK was one of the original teams when the SMG, the losing bonus really came into effect with the MAC-10s, where on the CT side especially, they were willing to just go chase down kills. They were willing to throw kind of caution to the wind and try and rack up that bonus money. This is actually more dangerous of a fight than it looks from FNX just because of the Deagles, especially now that Fallen is gone. Although he does have every single member very low, should be able to clean it up. There's no more Deagles in play, so he doesn't really have to worry about just a 1-bullet headshot. And he's playing this so wise, although they do have to concede the bomb plant. That's a little bit unfortunate if you're an SK fan. But FNX, he's going to fall now. So Skedoodle in a 1-on-1. He's going to salvage an M4. He's brought down so low, but he can do this. Just a headshot. And Taco now, I mean, this close up, though, it's going to be tough for Skedoodle. Trying to use the sound, trying to see if he can see the head of Taco over the wall. Is Taco going to stand up? There it is. He's getting the dinks through the wall, but Taco's going to win it. Stands up. If there was just an extra dink in there for Skedoodle, that would have been huge.
Skedoodle's going to be disappointed he didn't take that one. He had all the things going right for him there, but still, another great eco round from Cloud9. Lots of money in the bank, and they're going to be able to get that AWP up, which we saw pretty effective versus phase, where Skedoodle was getting a lot of tags, a lot of kills on the mid-cross. So see if he can pull some more of that out. Double AWPs, though, from SK, so they're not messing around either. They're getting straight on it.
Well, especially on the back of losing 3 members in the second round,
Yeah.
4 members in the third round. So, I mean, look, if you look at the economy, it's just so low. Fur's at 0, Fallen's at 0, Cold's at 50. So they're all in on this round to get the winning streak started right off the bat. Stewie's quick up catwalk, automatic and Shroud, basically just rushing mid. Stewie's just going to jump down. They meet it in midair, and Fallen can't find it. He gets entirely confused. This is one of the most aggressive starts to the round we've seen from so many different locations. And there's Taco. He knows it's a B rush, but he can do nothing. And SK gets crushed by the fast pace of Cloud9.
That's the thing. That looked like the protocols right there of SK. They weren't using Molotovs to block off areas. The Cloud9 guys were able to get up cat. They're able to get out mid. And when you're doing a normal A setup, even if you're boosting a player short or the person's running around to short, you're playing 1 to 2 players towards long. And you're not ready for that fast cat or that fast straight out mid to B like we just saw from Cloud9. And while you're rotating back in, you know, those 5 to 10 seconds when you're coming back from your position, that's when you're expecting the T's to start making a move. But Cloud9 straight off the bat, straight out mid. Great early kills, and now they're on the chase, and Fur will go down. Really good round by Cloud9.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely you never prepared for a rush on catwalk and out mid. I mean, that's just 2 different locations, and also, I mean, that catwalk player distracting Fallen. So I don't think there was a mid to B smoke. So even if he loses that fight, it's exposed, and Fallen's going to fall anyway to the guys in mid. But either way, I mean, this is now the damage. It's dealt, so the economy's broken from SK, but they just decide to invest in it anyways.
Yeah, interesting move. I guess they don't know that they're probably going to have to double eco anyway, so they're going all in on this one. And what we've seen with Fallen on Scouts in the past is FNX opening it up early with the long-range CZ there onto Skadoodle.
And Skadoodle had an AWP, and now Fallen with the Scout is chiming in, and I think they almost have to give up the AWP out towards long because it's a 3-on-4. They need to make sure that they can, keep map control. This is a tough situation, so the AWP doesn't even get fired once. Skadoodle being the first one. Normally you see that. I mean, how, do you like that just jumping out like that? Or, I mean, normally you just see that take the pick and just fall back if they miss. And Fallen again is just doing more damage. And he's going to have another opportunity. He's tagged nothing, although that's a good response.
Yeah, with the AWP, you just expect to take the pick and fall back. You could be copping a lot of nades doing that long pick, or you could get overwhelmed. And Skadoodle, he was brave. This is what we want to see from him, but punished quite early.
Now a tough spot. Flank is coming in as well. Cold is just waiting and biding his time. The bomb is planted. Nothing in Shroud locked inside of this B bomb site. FNX is going to meet up with Cold, so the teamwork is going to come from B tunnels, and the footsteps are going to let Nothing in Shroud know. It's a decent setup from them. Nothing's in a little bit of a tough spot. Overexposed. Shroud is not aware of the B. Oh, they just want to double peek it. That's smart, but Shroud loses his battle. It's all on Nothing, who's got to just pick one, and Cold with 2 kills. SK Gaming respond, and I hope you can hear him, because I can hear him in the headset.
This is the thing, right? They're not doing their pre-game huddle, right? They stopped. That hasn't happened today. It didn't happen in their other game. It hasn't happened in this one. They're just really loud after every round, and it seems like it's more business, Like they're not sitting there. They're not doing the whole hype stuff. They know what the job is, but while the game's live, this is when they're fired up. They're carrying it through in-game as opposed to before.
Well, I mean, now it's tough for Cloud. I mean, that's a very fast-paced round. I guess Cloud9's thinking they're going to be going against unarmored opponents, maybe not that much to really have to fight. And SK seemingly catches him off guard, but still plenty of money in the bank for C9 to get another buy here. They've slowed down at least. There's no one rushing anything this round. So Cloud9's going to have to be a little bit more measured. Skadoodle with that off, he's going to have time to find a pick. He's just waiting in mid to see if anyone's going to peek him, and it's not going to happen. He's going to have the bomb as well, so perhaps meeting up with Nothing in a little bit to execute a mid-B split.
No AWPs on the CT side either, so they don't have that long-range presence in mid. They can't be peeking towards Cat. Fallen can't play on that A ramp or mid-long position with the AWP to stop that A execute. And it looks like just a standard default from Cloud9. They already have mid control. They don't have all Cat control yet, but looks like they want to probe towards it.
Fur's going to be the only one there, and Fallen's actually left him even without the AWP. He's going to be leaning more towards mid. He's kind of the decision maker in this scenario. He has to choose whether he wants to go A or mid, and there's the Shadow showing up for FNX. He gets 1, he gets 2, big hold, and it's the AWP coming in next, and Skadoodle cannot trade that off. FNX has barely taken any damage, so huge advantage for SK due to his efforts. Stewie's trying to find a pick in mid, but no one is exposing himself, and that's tough. Down to 6 HP, don't even get to fire a bullet, no real chance, so Cloud9 at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, they're between a rock and a hard place right now, and Fur's doing what Fur does best, pushing out for information, being aggro, of course, but Skadoodle will punish him. And now it's a 4v3 situation. Stewie, 6 HP, not a lot he can do, but the A execute is coming in.
Yeah, the big advantage is that AWP with Fallen, that's just clean. And he's going to go for more. But Skadoodle, it's his job to do, and I don't think he realizes that FNX has gotten towards rail. So trying to jump down to catch off a rotator. It's a clever move, and he's got the time for it, but now that he sees no kill, 15 seconds left on the clock, and Taco and Cold are waiting for that. FNX cleans it out. Huge round from FNX, but precision shots from Fallen.
Yeah, really important round by FNX, getting those 2 kills at long that basically put the round in SK's favour straight away. And then at the end there, you might not have noticed it, but he would have heard Skadoodle drop down to spawn. He communicated that to his teammates who were running towards Cat so they could flank. But once FNX called it, they came back to CT ready to frag and crossfire, and nice and easy.
So Cloud9's going to have to get to the drawing board again, because they're going to be back on pistol. So coming into that next gun round, they're going to have to figure it out. SK with a big lead here so far. Grouped up out towards long. Nothing's got the utility. One flashbang, but look at Fur. He's on a hunt. And I just mentioned SK is the team where, as CT with an SMG, why not go hunting for that bonus money? And there's Fur. Doesn't have to stop moving whatsoever. Time to reload. And now they've got Cloud9 boxed in, and this is all but over. Yeah,
from talking to Fallen and the SK guys at E-League, they were saying that basically on these anti-ecos, they're more than happy to send Fur out with the SMG. They trust that he's going to get one kill, and he's going to give the team a lot of information. And they like to do that on basically all of the maps. He has free reign to go over that MP9 or whatever he's rocking and go out, find the information. They trust him to do it, and then the rest of them just play solid Counter-Strike around that.
And I mean, it's paying off here. Fur, I mean, he's built up some money. He's got full utility. He's got the M4, and he can also, I mean, as you build up that bonus money as well, you get more to be able to drop things to your teammates if it's ever needed. So, just more economy in the bank for SK. And now Skadoodle with the op again. What can he find for them? It's Automatic leading the way. He's still, I mean, it was Blue on the desk who said that it was going to be big on Stewie and Automatic to have good games. Well, I think Automatic, he's at 0-6 right now. So he's got nothing going in his favor in this match so far, but cat control for Cloud9 again, no one really contesting it.
I think a thing with the Stewie and Automatic combo is if you don't let them get into plays that they're comfortable with and you keep taking the fight to them, they don't get a chance to get in their groove, right? They're so good at being instinctual and making plays around smokes and pushing through that if you don't let them do that and you're fighting them, when they feel they're still on the back foot, they're going to struggle. And like you see Stewie, the plays that he makes is where he pushes through the smokes and he has those flashes going off and he takes advantage of that ground while people are confused or they're still communicating about what's happening. And SK being so aggressive, they're not allowing that to happen so far.
Well, and also looking at Stewie as a new in-game leader, he gets to base whatever play he wants to make. He gets to base his team around that. Well, now that they've been shut down, right? I bet you would have loved that back in the day.
So badly.
Well, Cold is going to have, I mean, he spots this through that little crack in the board, so he knows it's coming. What's the response? There's a kill from Fallen. He's even tagged up Stewie, I think, as a collateral. Good find from him. This B hit's got to be successful, but Taco's gone outside, so they're going to be able to play a retake with a man advantage, and there's no pressure from middle. So Automatic will plant, and it's going to be all about the retake. 2 flashes for SK.
Really important by Taco. People need to realize if a mid to B split comes in, the B holders have to make a decision. You either fight tunnels as a unit, or you get out of the site and you fight the mid to B split. You can't just be stuck fighting between one or the other. And the retake is getting set up now, and because of that decision of Taco, they still have that number advantage, 4v5. 4v3, sorry, not 5.
No, that's all right. 2 flashes as well that they've saved, and Fallen misses the op shot. Automatic flirting with danger here. How are they going to retake this one? Skadoodle watching for a window. There's Automatic behind the box. He pounces, got to do more. Good shot from Skadoodle, but there's the flank coming in, and SK, it's clinical. Precision as they come in. And it's going to be a 7th for them, and Cloud9, they're stumped. This might be where you take a timeout. I mean, this is what I'm going to say. Yeah, Stewie gets to pretty much dictate what his team does around him based off what play he wants to make. But when it comes to having to be a little bit more tactical and having to kind of figure out when that style's not working, that him as a leader, he hasn't progressed to that level quite yet.
Yeah, this is where a coach would come in really handy for Cloud9. Someone like Peacemaker is on the market.
I was going to say, there's a Brazilian coach just walking around here.
Just grab him. Give him a couple of $100. I'm sure it'll do some favors. But it's really helpful, when you are stumped. And if you are a new in-game leader, you go through plans A, B, and C, and you don't really have that depth. And you want to discuss it as a team and go through other plans. But it's sometimes better to have that outside perspective, somebody who's taking in all 5 monitors and the game at a time. As a fast B execute comes in from Cloud9.
Yeah, and this is the danger. The double op setup has always been so strong for SK, and you can see why. Cold is no slouch with it. He does fall eventually to Skadoodle, but there's Taco, just being a beast in the back of the bomb site. 3 swift headshots. And SK, you said they were going to carry the energy through this match, and it's just getting louder and louder.
This is the SK of old, This is the stuff, just the passion, and they're at home, a home soil advantage here, and they're loving it. If these guys don't make it to the stage, I think they will probably cry.
Yeah, that would be heartbreaking. I think the crowd might actually cry. I think there would be collective
Weeping
crying. Yeah,
all across Brazil.
for weeping for the postman.
I just want to note the way that they play the double AWP setup on this CT side. They don't have the 2 AWPs right now because Cold Zero lost it in the last round as this eco comes out on long. Is you normally see an AWP relatively aggressive in mid. I'm not saying completely challenging, you know, not fighting for that mid pick all the time, but at least going for information or trying to find an Xbox pick or a catwalk pick. The way Cold plays it is pretty well locked in the B site. You know, he made those 2 kills just then from B. And he was near window, and Fallen's playing more towards cat and A ramp. They're not playing it for information, they're playing it just for the powerfulness of those AWPs. Yeah,
well, that was one thing that you know, could have brought up earlier. If we think back to that 4th round, if we take you guys back in time, double op set up right at the start, and that was the round that Stewie rushed up cat, automatic, and one other rushed out mid. Well, I mean, if they had someone playing for the information with that AWP peeking through those mid double doors, they could have spotted that mid rush, that cat rush coming, and that could have been what allowed them to get the information to adjust the defense. Either way, it's obviously not mattering too much because SK is just on a huge tear.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Oh, nice shot by Jordan there. Be interesting to see if Cloud9 go back to that fast play, if they get the spawns for it, because you have to kind of expect it if you're SK. It's the only thing that's worked for them so far. But how do you deal with it, right? If they're still not going to have anybody spotting middle, what's the workaround? How are they going to know it's coming? And I'm going to see a buy round right now from Cloud9. They have enough to get the AWP on Skadoodle again.
Yeah, and he's actually got 8 kills. He's the top of the scoreboard for Cloud9, which isn't saying too much, I guess. But, I mean, the real thing is you have Automatic, you have Stewie. Those 2 players are at the bottom. 4 kills and 1 kill. Just not a lot of impact coming out, really, from anyone from Cloud9.
Looks like Cold Zero is trying to get up on the tall box and CD spawn. This setup where they have the 1 player towards the B site, and it's basically 4 leaning on A. This is something that TSM or the Astralis team with Carrigan first started doing, and this is when you expect a team to just go into a default and then into an A execute, because what Cold Zero can do is quickly rotate off and get to that A ramp, help the A player who is fallen at the moment, and stop that execute. Or he can just look over the box, which I don't think he was able to get up there.
No, he's not.
He wasn't able to get up there, but when he is on that box, he can just look over the top and see anybody splitting mid to B and maybe grab 1 or 2 cheeky kills over the top of the smoke. But it does look like, once again, another B hit will be coming out from Cloud9 as all 4 members are towards Upper Dark and Automatic lurk around middle.
And this isn't a split. This is just going to be a timing hit. Automatic is going to be on catwalk. He'll be able to cut off rotations. He'll be able to flank. Taco's got a big job to do because they're not telegraphing this whatsoever. Taco, he does get 1. He's still alive. Hasn't even been hit. And there's an op to like kind of lock him in. Skittle's not there yet, but nothing just cleans him out. That's the tough part of this setup from Cole. As you were saying, it's designed really to help out more towards A, but still be a little bit safe for a mid to B split. And in that kind of a situation, you just abandon Taco.
Automatic's a danger man right here in middle. He could pick off Fallen. He saw his head, but he's going to get taken out by Fallen. That's a bit of a mistake there from Automatic. I think he was shocked that Fallen was actually waiting, and now we have a 4-on-3 situation in favor of SK once again.
Yeah, and this is going to be so difficult. Scoodle still has the AWP, but he's deep in tunnels watching the flank. All 4 members of SK are going to come through the window and the doors. Nothing with 1 kill. Continues the spray to get the next, and it's a great hold. Nothing in Shroud. Scoodle's not even needed. All 5 kills for those 2. That's a 2nd round on the board, so Cloud9 showing a little bit of life, but there's still a good amount of cash they have to burn through before they're going to get a reprieve.
Yeah, definitely. That B site is really difficult to retake, especially once you have 1 or 2 choke points smoked off, like it was just then. When you're the CTs, if you have utility left, you know, like Molotovs or Smokes, you need to have like an idea of who's going to smoke or Molotov what. A smoke at the big box in B, which in Australia we call Heaton for some reason, you know, maybe a smoke towards Upper Dark, Molotov if you have another one towards Back of Plat, and then a really good flash, you know, that's really important. Not just a flash over the top. Quick long play right now, spawn play from Cloud9, and they're going to get 2 quick kills.
Yeah, so Cloud9 not willing to go away from this fast aggression. This is really the first time it's worked. I think this is their 3rd attempt of really getting out long quickly. This time it's effective, and Fallen is trapped. That Molotov, Skadoodle, I mean, he's not. They throw the Molotov. This is a trigger point for me when I see this frequently. You throw the Molotov to flush people out, but you don't watch for it.
That was actually a great play, though. Like, they didn't know that Fallen was there because the smokes were just clearing. Automatic threw that Molotov, which I haven't actually seen been used before. And they were able to get the kill off it, like you said. Skadoodle picking out a bit too early, but no real dramas there. Cold Zero's going to save that AWP. Well, he's going to try to save that AWP. He's got 40 seconds right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's far enough away from the action. Doesn't look like Stewie's too committed. He's actually going out towards... Actually, he's coming back to CT spawn, but no one else is really there. So if Stewie falls here, I don't think there's any chance Cloud9 actually takes this gun out of his hands. So, Cole, this would be huge for them to be able to save that because, like we said, I mean, I said there was a lot of money to burn through. It's actually pretty much all gone now. I think they had to maybe drop one over that I didn't notice, but Cold, if he saves this up, that's what we've seen. You know, early on, they were willing to force buy with a low economy in that, I believe it was the 5th round, and they were able to win it. But if you have an AWP, you are more than willing to buy around that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they save this orb, they probably will force into this next round. They want to keep this lead, right? You don't want to get to like a 10-5 or maybe even a 9-6. You want to keep the foot in the throat of Cloud9 and have a big as lead as possible right now. And a pause will come in. This is probably where they're going to talk through the situation. Will they buy? Will they take an eco?
Yeah, and that was definitely an SK tactical pause as well. So Taco can buy a rifle. Fallen maybe go back on that scout. He did get 3 kills with it the previous time they had to force buy, and then Fur and FNX might be stuck on pistols, but no big worries there. And there's the scout buy over to Fallen. So I don't think this is really a pause. I think they go into this pause knowing they want to buy. They're just figuring out how to manage the economy because they're not fully investing. It's basically just Taco drop the scout to Fallen, and everyone else, is pretty much going to save.
I don't think I've seen as many pauses at this event as we did at New York. New York, it was just like once the teams grasped the system, they were using the pauses very well. Even if like they weren't losing, they were still using the pauses to help keep themselves in the lead. And that's what I think with this new system. It's actually, it's different, but there's strategy behind it. And I'm all about the strategy. I like seeing it used.
Yeah, I mean I'm of the same opinion. I like the strategy behind when they use pauses and everything, but I think it is a little bit jarring at times when you're watching.
Yeah, I suppose. It's not as bad as like NFL or NBA where they can just take a tactical timeout and then you go to an actual ad break. At least people still get to listen to the soothing tones of our voices.
This is a good point. It's all about giving us more time to talk.
Yeah, I just want more camera time if that's possible.
So if you could start coming to the camera at these pauses.
Yeah, just at the pauses, just show my face.
Well, Cold's going to have the AWP. We could actually just put a camera on Matt. He'd love that. Cold has this op out towards long, and he's blind, but he still gets the kill, but that's a huge trade. I mean, Cloud9's going to love that trade. They'll sacrifice Shroud for that op any day of the week because that's a lot of the danger of this buy is now gone.
They've got control of the AWP as well. It's not like he got that pick, got traded, and then the CTs could pick it up again. They have full control of this AWP right now, so that means Cloud9 don't have to make any rash decisions. They're not worried about where the AWP is. They're not just going to run to the other side expecting the rest of the players to be there to salvage that AWP. They can potentially throw the weapon away, take their time, regroup, find more information, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, speaking of information, Fallen's using that scout, how you were talking about the op being used for information, looking up mid, seeing absolutely nothing. So with that being said, he's going to think the pressure's coming long, and he's correct. Oh, FNX with a taser. I didn't even see that. The Zeus has a huge impact, but automatic just says no more of that. But what a sick play from FNX.
Did he get that completely blind in the smoke?
I think it was through the smoke.
What the...
That's so good.
I love the noise it makes when you die to a Zeus.
The squawk?
Yeah, it's good.
Or is it a scream?
It's favorite CSGO noise.
Oh, that's so epic. Nicely done from FNX.
But yeah, no kill reward for that anymore, is it?
Isn't it like $50 or $100 or something like that? Yeah,
no,
but it's style points. Do you put any stock on like maybe it's like the psychological warfare aspect of it?
Not really.
Not really?
Nah, if you buy it, you're a bit of a clown.
Good save.
Yeah.
Good pivot there.
I was gonna.
Yep.
I was gonna go.
You were gonna go for number 2.
Full Aussie.
Well, this is going to be a 4th round for Cloud9, so it was looking so dire. And as we just had that conversation about pauses, I don't think Cloud9 didn't take one in that 9-1 run that SK was on. So
yeah, unusual.
They break through it despite not having a pause. Maybe it's just because they don't really have any other idea of what kind of strategy they want to pivot into.
And there's no real outside voice. They don't have a coach who's going to be feeding them ideas. They can talk through it. They could do tactical ecos in the freeze time. They're all going to be talking and speaking their mind regardless. So probably getting through it there. I would still want to see the pauses used. You get 2.5. May as well use them.
Well, I know some teams, and I believe you told me this, you guys had a rule when you were in Renegades, if you lost 6 in a row at any point, no matter what, it was an automatic pause.
Yeah, it was 6 to 7. So it depended on the map or how we're feeling at the time. But anywhere from 6 to 7, we'd take a pause. It's just to settle people. Like, I felt Azza was a player who was like, I think he's the best Australian player, really benefit from, just a pause if they're not playing so well.
Yeah.
Early exchange right now is it's a 4v4 and a fast up long is coming right now from Cloud9.
Oh, it looked like Fallen wanted to peek that, but I think the smoke grenade actually slowed him down, and he turns just in time after getting blind, and thankfully he did because Stewie was there ready to pounce it. Automatic again, just perching up in this bomb site, just like the last round, and getting a kill. So Cloud9, this round was a little bit slower, but once they got going, they just never slowed down. They never stopped. So it's looking like it's going to be a round for Cloud9 and SK with no kit, with no utility. They're just going to want to save these for the last round of the half.
Yeah, their economy basically in the bin right now. They're going to drop whatever they can for the next round. The problem is with these orbs, running a double orb setup, you're only getting a $100 kill reward, right? Mm-hmm. it almost, I don't understand it. I'm sure the Valve devs can explain it to me. I think that it deserves a $300 kill reward. Sure, an AWP is very powerful, and if you have good AWPers on your team and you can use it that way, but to only be rewarded $100, it hampers especially the CT economy so much, and it's just a hindrance, I think, because you want to see people. You don't want to see people having an AWP every single round. They should be punished for bad economy management. But when you're only getting $100 and you're one of the most skilled players on the server, it's a bit disheartening. I think you want to get paid for the work you're doing.
For the kills. Yeah, absolutely.
You're a mercenary after all.
Speaking for all the oppers.
Yeah.
You should start like an op union.
Oh, maybe.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, Cloud9 now has really come back in this matchup. 4 straight for them, and a good decision. There's a pause. It's not tactical. It's actually technical.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has been a great recovery from Cloud9, and it seems like, I mean, that previous round, you've seen the adjustments that have been made, not necessarily on the macro scale, but like micro, like realizing that the last time they did a mid to B split, there was those cold zero behind those boards under the B window, and they just spammed it that previous round. That was the first kill, so they spam it, they find that, and I mean, this might be a big reason why. I see on your screen you're hovering over Automatic, who we mentioned only had 0 kills a few rounds back. He's now up to 7, so his output has been vastly increased.
Yeah, so just a few impact frags from him here and there, and they're able to put a few more rounds on the board. So that's what you want to see. Skadoodle's dropped off a little bit. He was leading the way early for the boys in Cloud9.
He's actually dropped off a lot. I think he was leading with 8.
Yeah, but the way that they've been playing it hasn't really allowed for AWP picks. They've been playing relatively quickly, so he's more in the back lines coming up after the action's already happened. They're not working around the AWP. So this is the thing with AWPers. If you're going to play like fast-based spawn CS, the AWPer has to be a really good combat AWPer. He has to be willing to get in there and be good at those fast flicks, or you have to either work around him to the sense of we're gonna flash for you, we're going to allow you to have these picks, we're going to smoke, I'm going to jump out for you to open up a line, all that kind of stuff. So right now the fast style doesn't really lean towards giving AWPer chances. We are going to see 2 on the T side of Cloud9 now.
And that'll be interesting to see if that slows it down, because one of them is Stewie, just a very fast player, and he's going for a pick over towards this B bomb site. Not going to find anything of it. That smoke is just going to let him know that it's wasted time for him to be there. But they have 4 members here. They only have, again, it's only automatic. So this was the same thing they did with that timing push in over B a couple rounds ago. This was kind of how they set it up. And because they don't have map control, they do have to be a little bit cautious as they come back. There could have been someone pushed up catwalk. Could have been someone creeping up towards long. So Stewie with this op, I mean, he's maintaining a lot of aggression with it, using it in the front line.
It's going to be action on Fallen here in a second. Stewie's going to be coming around the corner. Flash comes over, Fallen gets blind, drops back, so the exchange is missed by both players there, but cat control is now gained, so a lot of information, a lot of map control for Cloud9, and they can dictate the play because all members of SK are back in their sites very deep right now. All 3 members of SK are in the A site. They're going to try and retake short, it looks like, as flashes go off, and they might push through the smoke. Yeah,
and I mean, I can tell you from experience, being 3 defenders inside the A bomb site feels very uncomfortable. You have to choose somewhere to push. It's got to either be catwalk or it's got to be long. Now they're feeling the pressure, so now that they've gotten aggressive, Fur's leading the way. He'll have a quick flank, but this is going to be a mid to B split. Taco and Cold inside the site. Fallen with the op, can't really do too much through the smoke, but the flank off catwalk is going to come so quick. Fallen comes right through, but he misses the shot. He gets blind at the wrong moment, and there's Cold. The B bomb site is open. Fur's going to be quick into B tunnels, and FNX has just got to be patient. He's not the one to make a play, but unfortunately both choke points are smoked off. Skadoodle, he comes out with a pistol, and he wins that with the Tech 9. That is a critical fight to win. And FNX, a big job to do. He's got automatic and Skadoodle low, but there's just so many targets as he comes through either of these choke points. Oh, it's a nice pre-fire. Gets the kill on a Skadoodle. He's just got automatic at 19. If he can find that one, it would be huge. Nothing beneath him, and he spots that out, so now he knows where one is. What can he do with this information? And now he finds the other, but it's nothing to end it quickly. So Cloud9, they recover so nicely in this first half. They're going to end with 6 rounds. They didn't go away from that aggressive, fast-paced style. And nothing ends on top, 14-9. So we'll see if they can continue that comeback to close out the entire match when we return from the halftime break. Welcome back.
We tricked you.
Yeah, we did. The timer. Yeah. We threw you for some loops.
Hope you weren't getting a coffee or something, because we're live.
Yeah, well, it did start out as a 23-minute countdown, so that would have been...
Yeah, so you're ordering your pizza, you've left the house, yep. You're in the car, next minute we're live.
Yeah. And now you get back with your what's your favorite type? Like cheese pizza?
I just like ham and cheese. I'm a plain kind of guy.
I don't like ham on my pizzas.
Really?
I'm a veggie pizza kind of guy. Good talks, good times. Well, hopefully you do have your pizza. Hopefully it was ordered before halftime. 6-9 for Cloud9 as they make a comeback. They did win 5 straight at the end of that first half. Now on the defense. And it's 4 players with armor and decoys, and then Scoodle with 2 flashes and a kit. Aggressive? Oh, Taco's just running out long. He takes a decent amount of damage, but that's going to scare Cloud9 away. They fall right back. All 3 members were there, but they don't want to mess with it. Nothing is stuck at Car at the moment, and SK's going to fall away. The bomb this whole time, meanwhile, has been in the upper B tunnel, so that was not the final play. They just wanted to push back that defense. Scoodle and Shroud are both on the ramp. I mean, they're in very awkward positions, halfway between long, halfway between the site. They have to figure out where they want to go. And SK, they're adjusting quickly.
I'm really confused by this, right? You've gone out long, you've seen that nobody's there, and you've pushed them away, and you're still leaning towards the B side of the map, right? That's where you know most of the CTs are going to be like towards either middle or cat, and they're walking out mid to B right now, and a crossfire is set up between Shroud and Automatic. As smoke comes in, he can't see anything. He's spamming through the smoke, but SK quickly making their way up B hill.
Yeah, the pressure is 4 players from mid. It's just so hard for the B players to deal with that. Nice shot from Automatic. Can he get one more? No. That would have been huge, and there's Cold cutting off the rotations. Actually, Cold, I mean, he was the one player that you think is going to come out mid in that split, and instead he just chills. Shroud clotheslines him for his troubles, but it's still a 2-on-3 retake. They do have a kit on Skidoodle, but he's got no armor, so that's going to be deadly against the Glocks. And SK, they've gone passive. Cold's going to come out mid a little bit delayed. Taco is in the tunnel, so we can delay for time, but here it comes. Oh, Cold peeks at the exact moment that Shroud wanted to enter the site, so Skidoodle can't help him. And now Shroud is just stuck between 2 different sides. This is going to be a pistol round for SK. He hasn't even... Oh, he does have the kit, but it's not enough. 10-6.
It's so frustrating when you're stuck between players like that. You know, Shroud he just wants to hit the one tap on the head there so he can go and take another duel, but instead he's constantly worrying about getting prodded and poked from either direction, and not a lot you can do in a 1v3 on the pistol round with no utility and the player's relatively high HP.
Yeah, and it's tough to imagine. I mean, 4 players coming from mid. You just even if with the scenario where the B players to choose to defend once. Okay.
Good night, sweet prince. Shroud's bought a scout. I think Stewie had the deagle there, and everyone else seems to have taken like a relative. Oh no, wait. Yeah, no, a relative eco. Nothing bought something. Must have left spawn late and bought something because he's got a P250 and armor. I didn't say that at the start.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be... I mean, with that pick, I mean, that's a 6 shot from Fallen, but this is just going to be so tough. Automatic with the deagle and the B-bomb set all alone, so, I mean, Cloud9 with a small gamble out towards A. 3 players here.
What's more frustrating than crossing mid at the start of a round and getting headshot through the doors? Like, honestly, you're only in the round for, what, 5 seconds and you're already dead. And then you have to sit here and watch your teammates. And then if you got somebody like Skidoodle who wants to, you know, stay alive and try and protect and get as much money as you can, you're waiting the whole round. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing more frustrating than, I mean, with an op you can kind of understand it. With a scout, I think that's the frustrating part. Oh, that's a nice blind shot, but Taco's there to recover, and he gets 3 kills very quickly. So there's some more of that money bonus. Nothing with the deagle. Oh, that's another blind headshot as Cole just walks right into the bullet. If nothing can get one more, that'd be huge, but it's not going to happen. Fallen jumping around to the MAC-10 using the movement advantage. So SK up again, and this is now, I mean, this is going to be tough because it's much like the last match we just saw where FaZe had 2 big leads to start each half, and now it's SK like that. I mean, they've won both pistol rounds, and Cloud9 really has to put a stop to this very quickly once the guns get in their hands.
The problem is with the CT economy for Cloud9 is even if they take that first gun round, but they lose a lot of numbers, they're going to struggle into the second, and more than likely, unless this anti goes horribly wrong for SK, they're going to have enough money to string 2 gun rounds back to back, and that's where the CT economy. It's a cruel mistress. Yeah,
it's brutal.
She's not a nice one. You got to string a couple of rounds together to build up that bank, and even if you max out on money, if you're having a lot of orbs and utility, it's still not impossible for the T's to get on top of you. 2 gun rounds in a row, and you're already starting to struggle.
Yep, and I mean, this is going to be a clean sweep, and there's those SMGs again, the front line just trying to build up the money. Another way in which the terrorist economy is much better. Not as cruel of a mistress, a little bit nicer of a mistress.
Yeah, definitely. They want you to blow things up, apparently. So, AWP will come out here on Fallen. Taco might hold on to that UMP. I hope he does.
Well, I mean, Cloud9 says you guys can do it. We'll do it as well. Double op setup right in the 4th round. So, I mean, you talk about how hard it is to manage the economy early on for CTs. Well, 2 ops isn't going to make it the best, and getting tagged if you're Stewie. You just talked about it. There's nothing really more frustrating than dying, but definitely getting tagged like that does not make you a happy camper.
They're not using the AWPs to find information in mid either. It's relatively reserved from these guys.
I've noticed that on Dust 2, you know, for some time now. I mean, at the beginning of CSGO, teams were challenging mid constantly, like every single round. Now teams just seem to think that that's not, you know, the odds are not worth the fight if you're a CT. So they, I mean, you see often mid control and as an extension cat control given up pretty freely for the most part.
The reason that you want to like keep teams honest in that sense is even if a team is going to be thorough with their default, they are going to throw their flashes and smokes to negate you. That's fine. They just want to push you back. If you don't have any presence at all and they decide not to throw anything, like you said, you're giving it away for free. And that's exactly what's happened right now. There's no Xbox smoke. They didn't worry about flashing over mid or flashing for that close cat AWPer. SK are just able to walk up with all their members.
Yeah, and 4 smokes, 4 Molotovs, and Skadoodle is in a position where even if he gets a kill here, it's so hard to fall back. He has no cover except dropping down. There's a good find, though. Taco not expecting that one, so at this point, that's a smart play for Skadoodle and Cold, though. I mean, him and Shroud are going to be, this is like a face-off style, back-to-back. And he's going to pounce at any moment. Shroud now, he's going to get 1 kill. This is where Cold should push through, and he has. He's jumped through. He finds that kill. Skadoodle now, those flashbangs. He's going to still hold the angle, and Stewie's here. He's not aware that Cold is to his right, so Cold is just being a menace at the moment. And there it is. Oh. There's another kill. Fallen with 1 onto automatic. The bomb is down on Catwalk, but SK still has a lot of progress to make, and actually with 15 seconds left, Fallen might just bail out.
Does he have time to get there? This is going to be close. He's got to go to the mid-2. They have to fight this.
Yeah, well, I mean, Skadoodle's got the tough part now of knowing that Cold is watching. What a round from Cold.
What a monster. That's a 4K from him. Nice and easy.
Yeah, and he was away from the action. He does that as a very aggressive lurk coming through the smoke to get 1, and then just staying there and preventing anyone from coming to support that site. So even though SK loses all the fights at the actual bomb site, Cold just wins everything else.
That would have been really tight. I think it was like 10 seconds left as Fallen was starting to like run up the B hill, so I'm not sure how close to getting the bomb down he would have been. So Skadoodle taking that fight, he wanted to stop them from even getting anywhere near it, but Cold just too good.
I think we've said that a lot, that Cold is just too good. And either way, this is not the SK that we've seen, you know, being a little bit more impotent in the past few months. This is a very confident SK.
Yeah, well, with the games that SK have lost, it's been versus VP, right? Like the team who's currently #1 in the world. So it's seeing them lose is the bit that's surprising. But the opponents that they were losing to in VP, that's obviously such a good team. You expect them to take these games versus Cloud9. We know that they're the hope of NA and they're currently the best NA team. But you really have to still back SK, you know? Even though they were slumping, it's like not a normal slump. It's not like an NA level slump. It's like a world-class level slump.
So they're not slumping so bad that they're an NA
Well,
team.
that's fine. Lucky Henry's on the desk. We can make some UK jokes. He can bring in the easy skins thing. It doesn't really matter, but his team finished towards the bottom of Pro League, and mine technically came 4th and couldn't attend.
I like it. Take that, Hank.
Hank G fans.
Can't even respond.
This is the best kind of banter.
I know, it
Just
really
get away
is.
for free.
I love it. I'm sure we'll hear from it later over those soft drinks that we'll be having. Yeah, ops out for Skadoodle, op out for Fallen. Full utility this time. I mean, still no real challenge, but this time in mid, you'll see Automatic is playing a little bit closer to Shroud, so they can be aggressive. They can pop, flash, and peek if there is going to be some kind of mid pressure. And all the meanwhile, it looks like Fallen's going to be setting up Taco to go see what he can find out long. There's the flash. Taco turns from it, and he runs his way out through a Molotov. He's blind, but so is nothing in pit, and Taco's just running into Molotov after Molotov.
That was really good wall smokes. They used the Molotov as well, and they've isolated the pit player. They are going to grab that kill, and it's a 3-on-5 situation right now for SK. If they just regroup at this point, take it as a team, trade out efficiently, this round is in the bag, and that's match point.
This is the tough part. Maybe you have a different opinion of this, but this is where you look at Skadoodle and you really are a little bit disappointed in his impact, because both of his teammates over at A have fallen, and that's his first shot he's taken in the round right there on Defer.
Conserving ammo, of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's where you know, normally in the past you'd see him get involved. You'd see him try and hold that with his teammates around those smokes, try and bail nothing out of the pit, but for the moment he's just fallen back. So I don't know what your opinion is. I know, you know, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of criticism of him, but right at the moment he just doesn't seem like he wants to get involved in the action. He's like, You know, in Top Gun, when Maverick just like bails out of the dogfight right at the end, that's like Skadoodle. He needs someone like Sean or something to like call him up and be like, "Well, come on, Skadoodle."
Was Sean like basing the team? Because I don't know the inner workings. You probably have a better idea than me. Was he basing stuff around Skadoodle, giving him all the chances? Because I don't feel Cloud9 would be doing that, right? They're basing a lot of their stuff around Stewie.
Right.
And he is the star of the team. I completely understand that. But if you want to give somebody who can potentially be a star AWPer and has been in the past of Skadoodle, you have to give him or build him something to give him some confidence. It seems like that's been completely lost from him. But his teammates are willing to support him. I've seen that on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. Definitely, they're not basing strategies around him, but I think that more stems from the fact that he just he is not that like dynamic, aggressive, like playmaking AWPer that he used to be.
Exactly, but there's a difference. I think people go, "Oh, we give our AWPers freedom." There's a difference between giving your AWPers freedom and actually helping them find picks. There's no point going, "We let the guy do whatever he wants." That only goes so far. You need to be able to set him up with smokes, flashes, molotovs, plays to actually push the Ts or the CTs, depending on into his crosshair. You just go, "Oh, we let him do whatever he wants." Well, that's only half of the puzzle, right? It's a team game. He can go for aggressive picks if that's what he's feeling, or he can go for aggressive plays with the AWP. There needs to be more to it than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely more than 50-50 battles. Well, now we have an execution, and Shroud is going to have to do a lot. That's a nice shot. Falling in the air, Taco goes down. FNX follows as well, but the A bomb site is open. It's Shroud, Automatic, and Stewie, all with FAMASes. They have no kits. They have a smoke and a decoy for whatever that can do. And Automatic and Stewie still are not close to retaking this bomb site. They're going to have to meet up on Catwalk, but the kit is, like I said, it's already missing. So there's nothing they can really do here. They have to do this quickly, and there's Cold Zera just right against the wall, out in the open, and he does great damage. Gets one kill and great damage, and Stewie's got to win a 1-on-2 to keep him in this, and he's got to do it fast. Furza low at long, but Fallen with the off angle misses that shot. And now he just jumps up and he ends it. Fallen wants to get out of here, so SK looking good on home soil.
Easy enough right there for SK, and this is the team I want to see. You know, I think they need one more victory now to secure themselves a spot in the. I'm not going to. Don't lock that in. Don't take that to the bank.
Yeah.
I'm just saying things. That's kind of my job. But I think, you know, that this is looking like the better SK unit. This is the one we want to see, especially in Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely. This looked much more clinical. It's much more confident from them, not only as individuals but as teams or as a team. So, yeah, definitely picking it up here at the end where it seemed like they had a shaky match or two on the first day. But what are I mean, this is now Cloud9 still. They're 2-1 now, so they still should be sitting pretty good at the top of their group.
Yeah, the problem, we could have like a drawn group. I think we can have like, there's so many different potential ties that we could have, which would make it messy, because as I was saying before, and I think I gave you the wrong impression, that rounds matter. Apparently rounds don't matter.
I thought rounds mattered.
Yeah, I asked Graham. He said rounds don't matter.
Yeah, he came up and he showed me during that last match, so that was fun. But yeah, rounds don't matter, but that win certainly does for SK. So we're going to send it back to Alex, Yanko, and Blue to see Blue's tier, since he finally predicted a North American team, and now he's got to feel the salt.
All right, there you go. SK C9 managed to pick that one up, and SK do manage to go ahead and get another win on the board. Convincingly so as well. Yanko and Blue joining me for our final death segment of the day, and I think we have to kind of address the elephant in the room that is Cloud9 CT side, unable to make too much happen. Yeah, I had to just think about that one. God, it really has been a long one. Unable to make things happen, Yanko.
That's true. I mean,
9-6 half.
In the end, they needed to do more in the second half, but I actually believe that Cloud9, the round that really cost them the game was that anti-eco they had early on in the first half, because yes, they did lose the pistol, but in the two following eco rounds, they managed to get the plant both time. They managed to get a lot of kills as well, so they were putting pressure on SK's economy. They win the first gun round with some unreal pace too, just running towards Cat, jumping down CT spawn, and basically that one round forces SK to go on an eco, and I felt if Cloud9 wins that round, then they have, you know, more room to take risks, and their T side was actually pretty good in terms of decision making and game plan and what they wanted to do on the map itself. They weren't phased by the fact that their B split didn't work the first time around, that, you know, Cold got 2 kills with the AWP, Taco got 3 kills with the M4. They kept pressuring that B site, and they got a lot of rounds towards the end.
More importantly, too, if they are able to control the economy early on in that game, then they deny the double op setup from ever becoming a problem. That allowed SK to hold so much control over the first half there, and it just didn't really seem like Cloud9 was really able to do much to overcome that. Automatic as well was really quiet for the first quarter of the entire match, and then we really only saw him coming in towards the very end, and by that point it was far too gone.
Of course, the recurring theme of as well was just that CT side cruel mistress economy. SMGs from SK just building so much bank, and you just see constantly Cloud9, when they did go into the 4th round, they did go double AWPs, it was almost too little too late. SK running away with it at that point.
I mean, the problem is you lose both pistols as Cloud9. Yeah. You don't get that good start. And in the first gun round, it was really messy from SK. You could see the plan, Coldzera sneaking in towards CT spawn. They wanted to go Cat. Skadoodle had a cool angle, something you don't see very often on the ledge towards Cat. You could see that Taco wasn't expecting that. He gets the kill, sees the bomb, so gets a pretty good idea that they want to end towards the A bomb site. Really little time left for SK in that round, but Coldzera bails them out with getting the last 2 kills, 14-6 at that point. You know, really an almost unsurmountable feat before Cloud9 to get 10 rounds and win the game. From
Cloud9 though do concede their first. We do finally see a 1 next in the L column next to Cloud9's name, and I don't know how much more there needs to be said about this one. SK, of course, picking that up in our final game of the day. I think it's time to recap what a day it has been, gentlemen, after we do see, of course, C9 unable to make a single round happen on their defensive side of Dust 2. Let's go bring them up, though, the scores on the doors after day 2, and we can see the results that we did witness. We've seen some North America versus South America, we've seen some Europe versus North America, and all round we have also managed to see a little bit glimpse of the sexy CS we have to look forward to. That is, of course, what I'm alluding to, is bringing up what's coming up, or what we have just witnessed today. There we are. It's, of course, Optic versus Liquid was how we started. Is this day 1 or day 2? This is day 1. I recognize all of these. Yeah, okay. Well, this was day 1, either way, and you can see that those were the initial wins Cloud9 picked up. Those full 30 rounds versus FaZe was something that we did witness. However, now Cloud9 get that 1 next to their name. SK that wants to throw that blow.
That might prove to be crucial for Cloud9, seeing as how they dropped this map against SK. They did win against FaZe. FaZe got a win against Dignitas today, so those teams will be in close contention, obviously, dependent on how the games go tomorrow.
And that's, of course, another thing to look forward to. Everything going on from today is going to be played in the arena. I actually wrote it down, how to say it phonetically, on my phone, because I'm going to butcher it otherwise, and my phone is totally upstairs. This is the results from day 2, though, and you can see...
Sick stuff.
That's
from today.
Yeah, that is today. Okay, Mouse Sports versus Optic Gaming. SK picking up that stomping on Overpass as well in Group B. And you're right. I mean, seeing that result for Cloud9 does make this group a whole lot more dicey. I can't help but feel, Blue, if I asked you to choose a game that had you on the edge of your seat, those 30 rounds, NRG, NIP, probably at the tip of your tongue.
Well, it's crazy, right? Because they start off so dominant in that matchup, and it looks like they're just going to crush an IP, but all of a sudden they lose all of that momentum in all of one swing there, too. And then Get Right picks up full momentum and full swing there, too, by the end of that one. That last round is testament to that one, and he just completely shuts down Energy, and they somehow make that massive comeback happen to be able to win that match. Doesn't even end up going to overtime, which is the part that surprises me the most.
Soul-destroying loss for NRG, but perhaps not so soul-destroying Dignitas versus FaZe, Yanko. That was a matchup that I don't think the devs quite anticipated to see go the way it did.
Absolutely not. I mean, Dignitas is really hot right now, in good form, but against FaZe, fortunately they lose both pistol rounds. It's a best of 1. Config was having, he was having a quiet game. He wasn't performing, getting those kills, but I feel it's not his fault that much to an extent. First gun round, he dies being aggressive, but after that, they were playing mostly passive around mid, and maybe that's not where he's at his most comfortable.
Yeah. Now, with the 2 days of play done, it seems clear that the Group A top 3 is almost locked in. I mean, you've got Optic, Envy, and Mouse Sports basically sit riding high. As Liquid and Mortals have been yet able to make too much of an impact in this tournament. However, they will be playing tomorrow still. NRG, no, they will not be present. However, we will be seeing them play a game for placement, yes, tomorrow as well. And that's what else is coming up tomorrow. Let's bring up the games that... You had
no schedule.
We have no schedule. It's a little difficult to decipher sometimes, but either way, there is, of course, a little bit of an outlook towards tomorrow. The games we haven't seen. You were thinking about it, Yanko. I saw you theory crafting what SK had yet to play. There was one SK Dig is.
Yeah, the SK Dig is tomorrow. That's going to be great. And for Immortals, unfortunately, they've been looking super shaky. I have a tough time seeing them making it out of the groups tomorrow. I feel it has to be that home crowd giving them, you know, that extra, making them play really, you know, maybe reminding them of how they can play, getting the crowd behind them, getting some momentum. One of the games will be against Liquid, if I'm not mistaken, so maybe they can use that as a boost. But unfortunately, I believe the first game tomorrow is Immortals Mouse Sports, which is going to be an extremely difficult task for them.
Yeah,
with Mouse Sports, I mean, showing up as strong as they are, though, and the Immortals, I mean, dropping to Optic as well, it's certainly not going to be an easy task. And Mouse Sports have been showing up in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Lowell having a very impressive tournament so far, and the rest of the team really showing up too. I don't think there's really been a really weak link so far as Mouse Sports is concerned.
I think Mouse Sports are probably one of the exciting premises alongside Envy. I mean, these guys have already demonstrated that they could very well be a contender as well in those playoffs. I think that's an intriguing prospect.
Definitely looking super solid so far. Of course, you would like to see how they perform when it comes to the playoffs and best of threes, when they have to play maps that they're not as comfortable on. So, yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how that goes.
You raised the best of 3 point before about Optic. When they get to the playoffs, that's something that we haven't really seen too much of them. Of course, best of one seems to be their specialty, but we'll be seeing all of that tomorrow. And so we're going to be migrating from the ESL studios pretty much down the road, a quick drive over to the arena where we're going to be seeing a sold-out crowd. That's right, indeed. Tickets have been absolutely sold out, and it's absolutely awesome. We're going to be having a Brazilian crowd. We know the passion Brazilian fans have. They're even going to get to see both SK and Immortals play tomorrow, and you will too if you join us a little bit later on the same stream. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and disappear. When we come back tomorrow, we'll be in a very different place with very bright lights and very loud fans. We hope to see you there.